Iraq is in danger of falling into the hands of al-Qaeda and its offshoots. And some say the American government isn't doing enough to help. Lori Johnson explains in tonight's top story.
This is video of actual airstrikes perpetrated by the Iraqi military on al-Qaeda-linked targets in Ramadi this week. It's part of a stepped-up effort by Iraqi troops to get rid of the al-Qaeda element that's crept into many Iraqi cities since the U.S. pulled out in 2011. But al-Qaeda is fighting back. Just yesterday, an al-Qaeda-linked suicide bomber attacked an Iraqi military recruiting center in Baghdad, killing dozens. Fallujah is another city that's seen many clashes between the Iraqi military and al-Qaeda forces. Many residents there, fearing for their lives, have fled that city, leaving those who remain to fend for themselves. We don't have gas, oil, or benzene, said this Fallujah resident. Meanwhile, in Washington, House Speaker John Boehner accused President Obama of ignoring the recent violence in Iraq.
We must maintain a long-term commitment to a successful outcome there. And it's time that the president recognize this and get engaged.
To which the White House responded,
"We are very mindful of the fact that this al-Qaeda affiliate has created a lot of chaos and carnage in Anbar province, and that's why we are engaged in the effort we are to assist the Iraqi government to help them expel that presence."
The White House says the U.S. will deliver supplies to Iraq, but exactly what the U.S. will send is up for debate in Congress. However, the White House stands firm on its commitment not to send any troops back to Iraq. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
And for more on this, we turn now to our senior international correspondent, George Thomas, who has been to Iraq several times. Welcome, George.
Thank you, sir.
Now, talk a little bit about al-Qaeda in Iraq. What is behind the recent surge in activity?
Yeah. I mean, you look at these images, it's a bona fide mess. But we were reporting on this back in 2011, when the United States, the Obama administration, clearly telecasted to the entire region that the United States was going to pull out. And this was inevitable. I mean, what al-Qaeda went after was looking for these areas where the government, the Iraqi government, had no control. I mean, Iraq is now being called a failed state, where there is no security apparatus to protect citizens. And so, for example, in the northern part of Iraq, which is Sunni dominated, the al-Qaeda came in, there was a power vacuum, and in essence started to create all kinds of mess that is potentially, let me tell you, this is potentially, I mean, this could lead to a complete civil war and a breakdown in the country yet again.
Let's talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Some experts in the region are talking openly about a Shia-Sunni conflict.
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Look, it's very real, and this division is as old as the faith itself. I look at it as this. Perhaps our viewers can understand it from this perspective. You've got two dominant players in the region. Iran, which is Shia, and you've got Saudi Arabia, which is Sunni. And these two countries are in essence fighting for who will dominate and who will be the voice of Islam across the region. And today, this division is clearly, the fault lines are all across the Middle East, from Syria to Iraq to Afghanistan. And in some ways, it reminds me of the Cold War. It's like the Cold War taking place in the heart of the Middle East. Iran and Saudi Arabia are like the America and the Soviet Union fighting for control of this region.
Well, what does this mean for Christians in Iraq?
Look, I mean, I think this it's been the ongoing challenge and the travesty that we have reported here for many, many years. The exodus, the mass exodus of Christians across the Middle East. We heard reports 450,000 Christians that have escaped the fighting from Syria. About 1,200 that have lost their lives in Syria. I mean, it's the case all across the region, and unfortunately, it's not going to get any better because of the tension between these two sects within Islam.
Okay, George Thomas, thanks for your time, sir.
You're welcome, sir.